At this point, your document should look something like this. You have all of the content that I provided you with in the history of the web document. And so far, what you should have done is added paragraph and header tags to the content that should be either a paragraph or a header. Now, although this renders okay in the browser, it's actually not right yet because we haven't even provided the document with the basic structure of an HTML document. And I want to go over exactly what I mean by that. All documents, all HTML documents have a specific structure, and that's they have a head, and in the head portion of the document is metadata. It's basically information about the document. The most common things you'd see there are things like links to cascading style sheets, links to other JavaScripts, that kind of thing, things that you're going to call in from other places. One of the visual things that you'll actually see that's placed in the head is the title. So you'd use the title tag that needs to go in the head for the browser. But for the most part, you could just consider that the head, the metadata portion, and it has other things that it calls into the document. The things in there are more for the browser to process as opposed to humans to process. The things that humans are going to see is the portion that's in the body of the document. And so far, what we've done with our document, all of this content here would be what we'd actually put inside of the body of our document over here. And finally, the head and body have to be nested inside of the HTML tag. So that would start at the very top because this is, and then at the very bottom, and this is what declares to the browser what it's looking at, and it's looking at an HTML document, and that's important. So let's add the basic document structure to what we currently have. So what I am going to do is just open up my file, this file over here, index.html. Let me go soft wrap so it looks a little bit better. There we go. And now we're going to start with, let's start with the body, since we have all of the content for the body. So the very first thing before any of my other content, I'm going to put body over here. And then if I go all the way down to where my content ends, let's see, we got it right down here. Okay, I am going to close this out. Now you see that I have an extra space between the last of the content and the body. As you already know, the browser is going to ignore these extra carriage returns anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, so we encapsulated our content into the body. And now I'm going to make a head portion just like this. And then I'll also make sure to close the head. So now I have the head and the body. And now I want to nest everything inside of these tags. So I'll go to the very top of the document and do HTML. Okay. And then I'll go all the way down to the end of the document, even after body, and do the same thing. HTML. Well, not exactly the same thing, of course. I mean the closing tag, which is a /HTML. And once I save this, I'll go back to the browser preview of it. And here, I refreshed it. As you could see, nothing has changed. Well, we didn't add any actual content to that body portion that I was referring to, so that's exactly what we expect. So now let's add what is most commonly in the head, and that of course is the title tag. And this will change things visually for the visitor. And we'll put history of the web, and I'll close that. Okay, and now when I go back to the browser, right up here where it says Mozilla Firefox, I'm going to give this a refresh. And it turned to history of the web.